This is Flesh&Bone Study number 3, the most recent small sculpture in a series I'm working on that blends the geometric and angular hardness of bone and curving softness of flesh in one abstract form. Starting with a sketch, I planned out the general shape of the piece, incorporating interesting features of bones. I have a small collection of found bones that I often use as source material. In this case, I used the holes in the sacral foramen of a goose pelvis and the flange at the base of the skull of a possum. I had vague ideas about the back of the piece showing weighty folds of flesh, like these I've created on past sculptures, but I determined I could work that part out as I went. Sculpting in wool is a very forgiving and gradual process. I tend to figure out form as I go. To sculpt in wool, I give solid shape to wool fibers by compressing and compacting them in particular directions using sharp, notched felting needles. By poking repeatedly at the mass of fibers, I can coax and tangle them into any shape I imagine. As you can see, my approach is to add more wool and form it as I go, sometimes making separate component parts and adding them on, getting closer and closer to what feels right for the piece. It's a slow and laborious process, but I prefer to use the word meditative. When I'm done, the finished piece is smooth and even and, I hope, appears to embody aspects of both flesh and bone. Flesh and bone are my subject for aesthetic and conceptual reasons. Besides the complicated beauty of both the hard and soft parts of bodies, I'm attracted to tangible evidence of life. The simple physical truth of bone and muscle, structure and function and movement that connects us to other biological life forms. In this series, I'm sampling parts from the physiology of various creatures to create my own. Felted wool is the perfect medium for this mysterious blend of hard and soft, solid and yet translucent, apparently organic, but handmade. This piece is only 11 inches tall, a small study for a larger piece I have planned. Lately I'm working on a much larger scale, taking these wool sculptures up to human size. By increasing their physical size and presence, I hope to engage the viewer kinetically, to encourage interaction with the work by moving around and even under the sculptures, focusing on the present moment and emphasizing the physical here and now. I think this body of work is my reaction to being a maker, living in a region and time that emphasizes digital and virtual experiences. Making this group of huge, handmade felted wool sculptures is a real challenge. It's forcing me to adapt my tools, my materials, and my methods of working. It's also enjoyable and satisfying. I plan to keep documenting this process, and I hope you'll come along for the journey.